Brad Williams, Excel Primes. The previous offset tutorial, I challenged you. Here's just a much easier offset. This one might be easier for you to comprehend. We're going to use a formula based on the sum and offset function. You could sum a set of monthly data for n months using a formula. Here's how it works. Sum offset C5. C5 is where we're going to plant our flag. We have our row, we have our column, we have our height. Notice it's sort of a quasi-variable up here, and hit F9 and it's going to change. We have our width. This example contains monthly information for years 2028, 2029. The objective is to actively sum values for a specified number of months. In other words, 2028, sum the first 7 months. Hit F9, sum the entire year. F9, sum 7, 9. We could just go January to October, but the offset will do it for you automatically. It's the beauty of the offset. Until you get a handle on this thing, it could be a bit confusing. If we hit F9 a couple times, here we have 8386. Well, here is sum C5 to C10. I showed you could do the same thing. Here's what most people are going to do. Using offset, there you go. How does it work? We know C5 is 0. That's where we planted our flag. We're not counting that one. And then we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep in mind your C5 here in your row. This can be confusing because offset is not your row count. It's where you plant your flag. From there, you count down. This row would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know it's confusing, but that's how it works. And it's really this G4 which determines your starting point. If you wanted to get crazy here, I'm not sure if this will work. It might. This is where you sum up both 2028 and 2029, F9. If I can get to 6, this looks close, doesn't it? 3078 would be C and D. Well, let's look here. Equals this plus this. And clearly it'll change as soon as we hit the go button. But just keep hitting F9. This is why I have F9 in here. And there you go. What we did is we took the width here, it includes C and D. If you want to sum up both 28 and 2029, change the width here. I'll put it back to 1. Hit F9 until you get a 1. See, now we're at 827. Down here, you can see, look where our offset is. Where do we plant our flag? It's D5. This example contains monthly information. The objective is to actively sum values, as I stated, which is hard-coded in G4 as 6. It's not hard-coded, but I'm winking, yeah. The offset function allows you to construct a reference based on a starting point. Our starting point, as I continue to point out, is C5. That's where our flag is planted. The offset function allows you to construct a reference based on a starting point, a row, and a column offset, as well as a height and width. Offset is helpful in formulas that actively average or sum last n values, first n values, and so forth. Here's the formula. From a starting position of C5, construct a series of 6 rows by 1 column without an offset. With a value of 6 in G4, offset returns the reference C5 to C16 to the sum function. Offset C5 00 G4 is equal to C5 to C10. C5 to C10. Sum C5 to C16 is equal to whatever that number is. Here, the formula is constructed identically. The only change is the starting position. C5, in here we have D5, and we just went over from 2028 to 2029. Changes, rather than hard coding a value into the formula, you can use the count function to count existing entries in a given column and return the count to offset. We're not going down that road. You can play around with that. Here it is, just offset creates a reference, and then we're just going to sum it up. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.